Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal with the sun blazing down from on high. Isn't that beautiful? If I get out of the way, there's sun coming through there, and it's coming through the skylight at here. So this is the time when I get an aura. And welcome to everybody. This is the Coping with Life broadcast on a Friday evening. For those of you who don't know, we do 3 different broadcasts a week. We do one Friday lunchtime. This is Pacific time. Friday lunchtime, noon, which we call our Coping with Feelings. We do this one on a Friday evening, which is Coping with Life. And then on Sunday afternoon at 3:30 Pacific, we do Coping with Stress. And the reason we all get together is we're a group of people who get together and help each other cope with life as we go along. And that is why we have it in 3 different sections. Some weeks, people will be having, feelings of fear and frustration or joy and all those nice things. And sometimes we're just dealing with life in general. Other times we're dealing with high stress stuff. So we find that it's quite easy to fill 3 broadcasts with that information. Now, you will notice that today I am wearing my DearMamaSal apron, very kindly made for me by our viewer, Pat. And the reason that I'm wearing it is because we're going to have some fun experiments today. I've got, as they say, a plethora of stuff behind me here. That means a whole lot. And we're going to do all sorts of different experiments. Hopefully some will work. And I hope that you will enjoy them because I've had fun putting them together. All right, so now what I wanted to let you know is that let me just see if I can do this. In the broadcast, just so you know, we are going to be doing some cooking type experiments. We're going to be doing some updates on growing lettuces from store-bought. A special request there from Bernice, who wanted to do that. Also, I'm going to be doing, for those of you who love my old English horse grasses, I'm going to try different components to clean them and show you, let you decide which one works the best. All right? So those are some of the things we're doing. I got all sorts of stuff in today's broadcast, so bear with me here as I go through that. Before I get to it, though, I wanted to acknowledge some important things, such as, I can find it here, we've got Bernice's anniversary on the 6th, I believe. We have got Taylor, that is Jodi's little fluff ball, the little white fluff ball with 4 legs and woofs. It's Taylor's 4th birthday tomorrow, which is awesome. We know that Manon and Jeannie's daughter have birthdays on the 9th. We know that Beth and Charles celebrate their 31st anniversary on the 10th. On the 14th, we now know it is Jonas's birthday. We think that it might be Andy's either on the 14th or the 17th. We're still trying to identify that, but he will be 21 this year. For those of you who go back early days of DearMamaSal, Andy from Ohio. And then we also have Emma's birthday, Emma from Ireland. For those of you who know Emma, it's her birthday on the 16th, I believe. Let me just get that in a better picture so that I can, the 16th. I had to have my glasses on. Hi there, Sharon, and thank you for calling us our people. Also, hi there to Sandy. And Sandy, if you have a health update for us, that would be awesome. I just want to also acknowledge the fact it is Mother's Day weekend here in North America. I know it's not Mother's Day weekend across the world because different countries have it on different days, but it definitely is ours. You can tell I washed my hair and it isn't all dry yet. Anyway, so happy Mother's Day to everybody, and we will be doing a Mother's Day type broadcast on Sunday. I just wanted to give thoughts and prayers up for Jeannie, who's been struggling with kidney stones. and possibly will need to have them operated on. Also, thoughts and prayers for Lauren. Lauren in Tasmania has been struggling for quite a while now, and she's had some tests done. And she gave me permission to share this information with you, just so that you know that I am not speaking out of turn. And I quote, she said, "My doctor rang last night with some of the results. I'm deficient in iron, vitamin D, and vitamin B12. I'm on 3 monthly B12 injections and 2,000 milligrams of vitamin D a day. She also needs an endoscopy because he's concerned about her reflux. But her major results will be due later, and we'll update you as soon as we know, and she gives me permission." But she said something that really touched my heart, as always. She said, "Actually, I cried when my doctor rang last night because finally we were starting to get answers as to why I've been feeling so badly." Isn't that wonderful? You know, how many of you can relate to that? That, you know, you worry yourself sick, and then you go and get checked out. And when you start getting checked out, you find out, you know, it wasn't in your head. You had good reason for that. All right, moving on. By the way, what I've said with Lauren, if any of you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and we will ask her and get the answers back to you, even if, you know, she's not capable of doing so. Also, I want to just make sure, if you were not at the lunchtime broadcast, my thoughts and prayers go out to Jodi as well, because Jodi has come so far down the journey towards her operation that she is now down to 3 meals a day and 2 snacks. Now, you're saying, so? And I'm going, the meals are this size. The meal has to be contained within 1 cup, 3 times a day. Now, what I was asking after that was, if that is a meal, what is a snack? Apparently, a snack is half a cup, if you absolutely have to have it. And so what I realized, look, you know, some of you are going, no, really? And I went, wow, isn't that interesting? That means that 3 cups of food a day, as long as it's healthy food, you know, protein and vegetables, not talking carbs, as long as it's healthy for you food, you can survive on 3 cups a day. How many of you are going, I don't think so? Well, again, I was talking at lunchtime about all that Jodi has taught me about intermittent fasting. And if you remember, Jodi started this some time ago without realizing she was going to need it for her present journey. And Jodi, just so that you know how well you taught me, and I've got to say this, it was only just before I turned on the GO for Go on the broadcast that I realized I haven't eaten anything today. Seriously, I've had 3 cups of coffee, but I haven't eaten anything. And now I'm starting to feel hungry, aren't I? Just because I mentioned it. But I also looked and realized I didn't even have time to make coffee. Well, that's because as well, we're going to be making a special drink, very exciting, as one of the experiments. Lauren is saying, Jodi, I'd be going insane if that were me. Well, the thing is that Jodi is excited about it. You see, the fact that she's got this far means that her operation is getting closer and closer. The next step down for her will be baby food. When does that happen, Jodi? And you know, if you were here at lunchtime, I'm sorry to repeat it, but I think everybody needs to know that this is humanly possible. I'm so proud of her as well, Sharon. Thank you so much for saying that. You see, it's a case of if you want the operation badly enough, you will do it. And, you know, we all know that Jodi's done an awesome job. She's lost over, 100 pounds all on her own. She meets with the surgeon on the 18th, and then it could be within a month, right? A month to 6 weeks when you actually have the operation. So you have every reason to be proud, Jodi. And we are proud of you for what you've done. Now, I've got all sorts of fun stuff Jodi, if we have time, no. No. I'm going to start with it. Therefore, I won't have to worry about, is it enough time? Did I bring them with me? Wait a minute. No, it's going to be Sunday. I don't think I brought them with me. I bought 2 different concealers. And what I wanted to do, actually, I already put them on. You probably can't see it except if you look very carefully. But I had an argument with a rose bush this week. And the argument started here and finished about here. Hang on, let me look closely. Here to here. And I used 1 concealer for this half and 1 concealer for that half. And let me ask you, I'm going to go and get them. Which one do you think concealed the scar better? Or are they equal? And I'm going to get a wet wipe out. So here we go. So this would be 1 and this would be 2. And we're not looking at how well they blend with the skin, but just, actually, I think they both covered the scar pretty well. 1, I thought it was slightly better as well. Okay, let me rub it off so you can see what I was dealing with to start with. Okay, here we go. All right, so there you go. So here's from here to here. Can you see that? And that's what I wanted you to see. Yeah, they look pretty even on my screen as well, but now you can see this is where they were. All right, so yeah, I didn't argue for long. Could have been a much bigger argument. And what I will do is on Sunday, I will do a better demonstration for you and show you which one it was which and why they worked. Okay. So, right. Question. What do you do with your leftover bits of soap? While you're typing that, I just want to go and get something. And what do you do with them? How many of you just throw them away because they're a pain? Or how many of you reuse them? And this is under our reuse and recycle segment. How many of you keep yours? Little scraps of soap. And the reason that I asked is there are a couple of things you can do with them, as you probably know. What I do with mine, and I'm not the be-all and end-all, I drop all mine into here. And I just cut them up into small bits. Yes, Jodi does the same thing. She puts them in a bottle and turns it into liquid soap. All right? So that's what I do. And by the way, I keep a dryer sheet on top because quite often when I'm doing a small wash load, I will just pour a little bit of the liquid into my wash. So Sandy's saying we have no scraps of soap because we use body wash. Good. And that's what this is. So I just thought I'd show you how simple that is. And I use this for all sorts of reasons. Quite honestly, I use a little bit in my wash sometimes. I use it for, in my liquid soap things. So there are all sorts of reasons. If I've got a stain and I want a little bit of extra oomph to it, I will just use this straight on. And so I thought I'd just mention that. Now, the other thing you can do with it is you can pulverize it back and just add a little bit of water until it's malleable, still you can mold it and make little soap balls for Christmas for people, which is why I was thinking I would mention it, because we're getting to, nearly to that point where we're talking about ideas for Christmas. So if you end up with quite a few, think about that. Try actually just grating it and then turning it into little soap balls that you can, make little patterns on or whatever, and give them to your friends. So that's a thought. Now then, here's another one. I know it's surprising, but I ended up with some leftover wine after a dinner party. What do you do with your leftover wine? And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going, I drink it, which I could do, but I haven't eaten. So any other ideas? What do you do with your leftover wine? I know what I'm going to do with it. Because I am a single person, and because I really only ever drink with company, and we are in lockdown. Yes, Sandy's saying cook with it. And Jodi's saying, yeah, leftover wine, good one, yeah. Not a problem in her household. Or hubby drinks it. Yeah, so what I'm going to do with mine, Sandy, because I also I love to use it for gravies and things. I am probably going to put this all into ice cube trays and make ice cubes of wine. I will drink some. But, before it goes off, I will turn it, or let it turn into vinegar. That is the other thing. Actually, let it turn and then still use it. So those are choices, and I've done that before now, and it actually works really well. If ever I have little bits of, in the days when we go back to entertaining again, where we can have people in our houses, when I had leftover bits of wine in bottles, I would just put it all into my cooking bottle. Just like, okay, that's, half an inch left, and it goes. And then I'd use it to, make stocks and gravies and things. So there you go. So now we got that one covered. Yeah, Jodi doesn't have that problem. Hick. Lettuce for Bernice. Bernice asked me this question about my lettuces. Now, as you know, and first of all, you should know that with the dinner party on Wednesday that I had, I did a salad for 4 people, and it was all from my do-it-yourself salad bar outside. I thought you would like to know that. And part of it is that I don't throw away the bottoms of any of my lettuces. I put them on a bit of paper towel on a sponge like this. The sponge just holds the water, so you can just press it down and the paper towel gets moist again. This, you can probably see all the roots that it's already grown. It's ready to be planted, all right? And already it's got quite a few leaves growing on it. Here is another one, a little bit younger, but you can see the roots are starting to grow there. Can you see them? So, I'm going to be probably leaving this inside for another week or so till it's got more roots, and then I will plant it. And this one, I forgot to give it water, and it's looking a bit sick, but it won't be. I will just give it plenty of water in the next couple of days, and it will totally regenerate itself. But I wanted to show you it doesn't all work perfectly. In fact, I went outside, and one of my lettuces outside just went, and I went, oh, that doesn't look very healthy. And what I did is I just stuck it in water for a day, and it all came back beautifully, like it never happened. So, nice, easy way to grow lettuces. By the way, I've grown, as you know, bok choy like that from the bottom of bok choy that came into the house, already in the garden, cabbages like that. So, really good. Already in the garden. I've growing potatoes from potatoes that came into the house. So reuse wherever you can. And not only that, it's pretty cheap, isn't it? When you imagine making a salad for 4 people, and I did not have to buy any of it. It was all came from outside. I've got a nursery under my deck, or on my deck, and then I'm not putting lettuces in the garden because it gets too hot for them. So, and I want to be able to have year-round lettuce is my goal. All right, let me go on now to wilted lettuce. If ever you have lettuce that has started to go limp, as they say, like this, and I guess I could show you, but all you need to do is to drop it, in ice water. Do you want me to try that experiment for you and see if it will recuperate on its own? Let me do that. Okay, so here's some ice. And some water. And you can see it is pretty wilted. All right? And I'm just going to drop it in there. And we'll see if it recovers. That's what experiments are for. And if we don't try them, we won't know. I actually had a head of lettuce that really didn't look great. Hi, Rinsky. Good to see you. Next thing. Do you ever have little bits of, I make coffees normally for myself, and I end up with a little bit of leftover coffee or a little bit of leftover latte milk, whatever. And I've got a new trick. That is, in my fridge, I just keep a bottle, and whenever I've got the little leftover bits, I just drop it in here. And the next time I'm making a smoothie or something, I will just put some coffee flavor into my smoothie. That would normally get thrown away. And I realize why. Why don't I keep it and add it to my smoothies? And by the way, tastes great. And we're going to start with doing this first. All right, so here I've got horse grasses, and I've just put a bit of paper towel under each one. It's like this. And I've just put a paper towel. I'm going to leave the top one, because the top one is how dirty it is. So, and then I'm going to go down and do each of them a different way. Now, depending on the light getting on them, some of them look better than others, but quite honestly, they're all about the same. Get it? And so the first thing I'm going to try is a little bit of, what do they call it? I want to say soft serve Vim. What do you call it? Cream. The Vim cream. All right? So this is the first thing I'm going to try. And I'm going to put it on this first one here. And what we're going to do is just let it sit for a little while, okay? And then I'm going to clean the brush so we've got equal chances here. Okay, clean the brush. And then the next one we're going to try is, this is something, don't go buying brass cleaner. This is very simple. It is a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of flour, and a little bit of coarse salt, okay, mixed into a paste, right? Vinegar, flour, and a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to stick that on the second one. So all stuff that you've got hopefully in your house anyway, and we're going to let that sit for a little while as well. Clean the brush. Not quite as easy to clean with that. And the third one is the good old-fashioned tomato ketchup. Hate to waste it, but never mind. Here we go. And so, by the way, thanks to Jodi, who sent me these really cute little containers because she knows I love using them for doing experiments. So Jodi, absolutely right. And we will, oh, that's the wrong one. So this one is the tomato ketchup. This one is the flour. And this one is the vim. Now, okay, here we go. I'm just going to rub half of each so that you can see. No, I'm not. I'm going to rub it all. Okay, live dangerously, so. Okay, so the first one was the vim, and that definitely brightened that up quite a bit. I'm going to probably rinse it later and then buff dry it. The second one was the one with the flour, vinegar, and salt. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. Messy. It's messy, but I'm going to show you just now, but that is amazing what difference that made. Some water there. Okay, that actually was really impressive. Wow. Did not expect that, obviously. And then the third one is the tomato sauce or ketchup. Wow. Yeah, that's also a wow. All right, here we go. Okay, that obviously is going to need a bit more of a clean as well, but I think it's enough that you can get the idea. So here we go. This was the original one. This one was with the vim. Look at this one with the tomato ketchup. No, this was the flour. This was the flour, vinegar, and salt. Look how great that came up. Amazing. And this one also, that's with the tomato ketchup. So yes, I thought this one would work best. Isn't that interesting? But I hope you can see the difference. And really, not a lot of work. Isn't that amazing? Now I can clean the horn. And now I can use up what I've got left, and that will probably be enough of both the tomato ketchup and the flour mixture to be able to do all of my horn. So that is awesome. Hopefully by Sunday, you will see a clean horn behind me. Wow, that was fun. I enjoyed that. And it worked way better than I thought it would. So I'm going to put that away, as you gather. Okay. I'm going to put that in there for now. I know it's going to sound strange, but I will actually drop those paper towels into water and clean most of the gunge off it, and just let it sit in water and clean itself. Paper towels you can use 2 or 3 times. I keep a stack of them. I keep a stack of them. After I've used them to wipe something down, I just drop them in water. If they come up fairly clean, they get reused. And if they don't, then I put them in the compost. So don't throw them away, people. Remember, reuse wherever you can. Not because you're cheap, because it saves the environment. And that's what I want you to understand the difference. All right, now let me wash my hands. And this next experiment, I'm going to do with Jodi's help, because she's done it before. And so, Jodi, feel free to assist me on this. This is my trusty Ninja, which, by the way, came with three different bits to it. This one, amazing for bulk smoothies and things. This one, great for dough and everything. So just so you know. And also that round one, great for chopping up stuff for, I did a coleslaw, just hucked it in there, pressed the button, done. Carrots went in, everything, done. All right, so here we've got this. I know, Jodi, we start off with some frozen pineapple, right? And what I did is I did make sure that I had, oh, Jodi's saying an early warning for anybody who's using headphones. All right, if you're using headphones, this is going to get noisy. So frozen pineapple, and I did sort of like a little pouch of it, Jodi. I'll put the other one away. So I think one pouch will be enough. There we go. All right, so let's put that in. All right, so there we have got frozen pineapple. I'm going to put the other bit back. By the way, when I bought the pineapple, it also had pineapple juice. And so what I did was I have frozen the juice so that I can use that in smoothies as well. I'm not going to make a perfect one because that's not who I am. I want to make the easy version. So we start with about, I would say it's about a cup, all right, with a small baggie. And then we need to add what, Jodi? A little bit of this, you said, right? A little bit of simply citrus type stuff. And an inch, 2 inches, how much would you recommend for that much pineapple? I know you'd say you'd measure it to make sure it's right. A teeny bit of juice. Okay. Is that teeny enough, or can I put more? That's a teeny bit. If I put more, it'll be less noisy, right? Because I can always add more frozen if I need to. We've got extra frozen. So I think I'll put a bit more in. 1/2 inch. Okay, good. Thank you. Oh. Managed to get that all over my countertop, Joe. Just so you know. All right. So I've got maybe a little bit more like an inch. About 3/4 of an inch, we'll call it. Go. Anything else I need to huck in there now? So simple so far. I have got the instructions somewhere. More juice equals less noise. Okay, so we'll see how it goes on the noise factor. Anything else needs to go in there? Maple syrup or anything? Oh, I heard a touch of lemon juice. I don't know if you use that in yours, but you can do that. So, no, okay. So here we go. People, if you're wearing earbuds, take them out now. Can I get the lid back on again? I might need to break this up a bit. Or do it in two. Wait. Plan B required here. I've got to break it up a bit. Okay, keep the fingers out of the way. I can't get the lid on. There we go. All right, so yeah, it's not on straight. Let's hope it works. Ice cream is optional. Okay, that's good to know. There we go. And turn that on. Turn that on. I think I might need a little bit more juice in there. I'm going to put a little bit more juice in because it's just not doing it yet. Ice cream would have been nice in there as well. Oh. Just a tad more, people. Not a whole lot. I've put in maybe another. So we started with about 3. I put in another half, not even half inch, just a little bit more to give it a bit more oomph. Okay, we're going to plan B. And the plan B would be to get out what I've already done. I think it deserves something special, don't you? So here we go. I'm going to take out the bit that I've done. Oh, that looks good. And that will make room. We need a spatula to scrape it. Yeah, I know you do. That needs more liquid. This is very high powered, so actually it is. It's probably a bit too much, but that's okay. All for the experiment. We're getting there. And I think it's done. Yep, it's done. Now, Sandy will tell you to be very careful of these blades. And don't do what I'm doing. It's so good. Whoever thought? And there we go. Spatula required. Now, you will all know that I didn't do this to exact measurements because that's not who I am. This is who I am. All right, so here we go. Here it is. Jodi, would I put whipped cream on top? I tell you, it looks actually very good. Now, what they say is you can make a little bit looser if you want to, and then refreeze it a little bit. Cream, right? I'm putting cream. And there we go. And obviously it's going to taste a lot like pineapple. A squidge of whipped cream. Boy, is that refreshing. Oh, that's definitely a do it again. I can see adding different things. I read somewhere, Jodi, that if you put in a little bit of coconut milk, you end up with a pina colada. And I'm certain some people will be adding a little bit of something a bit more potent than that, maybe a touch of rum. But I want to tell you, that really is very tasty. I recommend that. I'm about to get a brain freeze. Why didn't you warn me? And there it is. Now what I'm going to do is not eat it all, because that would be impolite. But what I'm going to do oh yeah, that's a good way of, I'm just sticking the straw right through so it goes through the whole layer with the cream on top. The kid in me likes that. All right, so there we go. Very simple to do. I'm pretty certain I'm not meant to be drinking this stuff, and I bought a big bottle. Yikes. All right, so I need ideas on what to do. But Benj, I want to tell you, honey. Hi, honey. I want to tell you, remarkably simple. And with your dirty great power machine, I'm certain that the girls will be eating a lot more pineapple this year. All right, so because this has got a lot of sugar in it, I will now freeze this. I will freeze this in ice cubes, and then use ice cubes in with things, rather than keep it like this. Because if I have it like this, I will drink it, and I don't want to be doing that. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. So that's 2 experiments. This is a no sugar added one. Just so you know, I think you could add any sort of, you could make your own juice, quite honestly. You could take an orange and just take the juice from an orange. Jodi just told me I needed some of this, so that I did try it, but I noticed that it's got 4% carbs, of which it has 10 grams of sugar every 250 milliliters. Jodi, what's that in American? Please, 250 milliliters? Not very much. Yeah, it's too high in carb. I know that. You know that. So what I will do is I will dilute it in other things. All right, that's why I'm going to make, I've got these. I will make some baby ice cubes of it, and then just, they'll last me a long time. So, but good to do. By the way, I recommend it. Okay. So every 8 ounces. Oh, 8 ounces is a lot. Thank you, Jodi. So that is in a glass, would be that much. So a full glass, if you had a full glass every morning. But it's also got folate in it, which is good for you, am I right? And lots of vitamin C. So, like everything in life, it's got some good things and some bad things in it. And a bit like people, right? So, by the way, I'm not enjoying this at all. I think it would be possible to do with, what milk are you allowed, Sandy? I definitely want to say this is worth doing, people. You use cashew milk, all right? I use almond milk a lot. Sure, you could do it with either. Just don't use very much. You just want it to help it liquefy, so it's not all just pulp. How rude. I can hear my mother saying, you're talking with your mouth full. So, pretty darn simple, people, and lots of variations possible. And, you know, as I said, you could make an adult version of this with some booze in it if you were that way inclined. But I don't know anybody that's, you know, that has children or somebody who acts like one that wouldn't enjoy that. So, I'm definitely doing that again. Now then, all right, so Jodi's saying the sugar-free water enhancer drops in orange would work too. That's a good idea. Yes, put a little bit of orange flavoring as well would work, you know. Right, Sharon's saying, I love orange slice in my iced tea. I've used OJ in place of slice. Yes, so there are lots of ways that I can use this up, and I'm pretty certain I won't worry about too much about it. But I'm going to be making a lot more of these. Has anybody got the answer yet as to how do I tell when that pineapple is ready to eat? It's a bit green looking, so I got a feeling it has something to do with the leaves. Am I right in that? Right, so next. Moving right along. Right, the next discussion that I promised to give you an update on was the do not mix, do not open up the foam filler without reading the instructions that I told you about last week. And what I did is I left this top alone for a week. And I have sort of come every now and then because I now know that that filler is totally dry. And I've sort of rubbed it together and taken the worst bulky bits off. The next thing that I wanted to find out was if I take a little bit of acetone, will it remove? That was the question that I had. And so I'm just taking a Q-tip, that is all, and putting some acetone on it, and then just rubbing it on that fillet. All right, and I'll give it a little while to soak in, and I'll rub it on another bit there. So this is a bit like doing the horse brasses things. You know, you got to just play with it a bit to find out what works best. And so I've just put it on that section from there to there. And really what we're doing is softening it, right? That's what we're trying to do now. And I'm going to take a cloth and just rub it a little bit and see what happens. Well, yeah, that's taking a bit more off. Can't say that it is stellar, quite honestly, but it definitely is taking a bit more of it off. Let me rub it this way. And the point that you have to ask yourself is it worth the effort to you? All right? And I actually like this top. So what I'm going to do is bit by bit, I will keep doing it until I've got most of it off. And then in between, I wash it, but I don't put it in the dryer. In between, I will wash it just to get the residue off and not ruin the top. And then once it's dry again, won't put it in the dryer, let it dry naturally. I will try a bit more. And if it gets to be too much of a pain, I will huck it or find another use for the material. Okay, Jodi is saying the pineapple is ripe if the stem end smells sweet. What will it smell if it's not? Sniff the bottom of the pineapple. Oh, I would say the stem is the top end. You're saying, are you saying I need to smell its butt? Okay. No, it does not smell sweet. It smells stale, quite honestly. So we'll leave it. Yeah, I've done a lot of things in my life, but I have not smelt the butt of the pineapple before. I just pull one of the leaves. That's what I heard, Benj, as well. High up or low down? That's what I heard, was if you pull a leaf and it comes out easily, then it's done. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Done, as in ripe. But top ones or bottom ones? I got a feeling it was the top one, but these are not coming out, so... So we'll leave it a while. I'll let you know when I can pull a... I thought high up as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so these definitely don't want to release. We're going to leave it. And then I'll see how it is on Sunday and let you know if that's enough. Or if not, then you'll may or may not see it next week. So good for breakfast. Yep. And moving right along. So this acetone on clothing, not easy to do, but if it really is of value to you, the answer to it is, before you use the foam filler, read the instructions. Now, Jodi, I need to tell you a story because, you cracked me up at the best of times. But this one was a good one. Jodi, during the broadcast today at lunchtime, managed to spill nail polish all over her top. And as some of you will know, that's not something you want to be doing. And what I asked her was it your favorite top or anything? And here's the fun part, people. I normally don't enjoy pineapple that much. She said, listen to this one. There are no coincidences, people. She said she had actually said to Lionel, her husband, during the week, yeah, I think this top has had enough. And what I didn't know was that she'd said that, because I typed to her a note and said, or is it by any chance an old top, not a new one, but an old one, that it's time to get rid of? And God is giving you a helping hand. And that's when she told me, funny enough, I had said to Lionel that it was time to get rid of the top. And I said, oh, well, then, God just gave you a little extra reasoning. And, these are not coincidences. These things happen. Bernice, were you here earlier when I showed you about the how to grow the lettuce? And if not, it is in the fairly front end of this video, just so that you know. And what I wanted to explain to you, because that's important, Bernice, is that I let my roots grow this long before I plant it in any earth. All right? So you see how long these roots are. The roots are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches long. And that, to me, is like, okay, they're strong enough. But I put wet sponge and then paper towel and then this, and then whenever I want to wet the paper towel, I just press down on this part. So there we go. All right, now then, this is under the section of... Oh, excellent. Hold on a second. Sandy has updated her health section. Where did she do that? Why not submerge it in water? I found that the bottom part went moldy when I submerged it all in water, Bernice. It might be quicker if you just retype that or cut and paste it, because my going back will take me too much time now. And I apologize for missing it. Right? In the meantime, I'm going to give you a segment on what would you do. Right? Listen to this one, people. A white younger man in another line, this is in a lineup at a store, started yelling towards an older Asian couple. Hey, do you speak English? Do you speak English? The elderly couple were trying to bag their groceries, and this guy just kept yelling at them. So my question is, what would you do? And the reason I ask is because time and time again, we all say that we are nice people. But how many of you would step up at this point and say something? And to whom would you say it? Bernice is saying it has happened to her. It happened to me when I first came to Canada, and I didn't know that you called a trolley a cart. And they, the guy behind me in the lineup treated me like I was a raving idiot. I just hadn't learnt the local jargon yet. Everywhere that I had lived in England and in Africa, they call it a trolley. So, he kept saying, you mean a cart? You mean a cart, lady? And I'm saying, I don't know. If a cart is a wire basket with wheels on it, yes, that's what I'm looking for. And Bernice is saying, I ask, why does it matter if they can speak English? They are shopping. Let them be. Well, again, we understand that the person with the problem is not the Asian couple quietly bagging their groceries. The one with the problem is the guy that has an anger management problem. And, my question to you is, what would you do? Because we know that with some people, if they've got a serious anger management problem, it could be dangerous to intervene. So can we think of a nice way of supporting the Asian couple without putting ourselves at risk? Exactly, Bernice. I understood that's what you meant. It's like the guy, what does it matter to the guy whether they speak English or not? Well, who knows? He probably wanted them to hurry up because his time management was short. It's the same thing. I always say, and if you want to know whether to marry somebody, drive with them in a car. See how they manage traffic and people who cut them off and missing a turnoff or whatever. If you want to know something about somebody, and by the way, that goes both male and female, it tells you a lot about a person. And, going shopping with them tells you a lot about them. Do they take shopping as a, fun experience, or is it how quickly can I get in there and out again without, interacting with anybody? Or it'll tell you a lot about that person. And to me, we miss so many of those signs. I can remember going out with one guy in my life who used to drive along the fast lane, in a 3-lane highway. He would drive in the fast lane, and even though he knew he was going to take the next exit, he didn't start moving over until about 200 yards before the exit. And then he would scream across 2 lanes of traffic, putting me at risk, right? I'm the one facing the oncoming traffic now. And I went, yeah, that is what I need to know. That is what I need to know. That, it's not about planning. It's not about taking your time to do it nicely or properly. And he didn't do it once. This wasn't an accident. This was like he did it all the time. And I went, nah, really, that is not the sort of person that I want to spend my time with. So again, remember that people will tell you all that you need to know about them. If you bother to watch them and listen to them. And none of us is perfect, right? You do know that, right? None of us is perfect. And what I love is that, you will still have people in your life that love you despite who you really are. So you can afford to be who you really are. You don't have to pretend. There will still be people that love you dearly, even though you are not perfect. And that's really important for you to understand. All right, here's Sandy's update. She's saying, not much to report. I'm not spiking as high, yay, but still running a little higher than normal. So I'm still tweaking and tweaking. I think that's like life, Sandy, but we're so happy that you're out of that pure panic stage where tweaking, could end up, putting you in hospital. So I am so proud of you, not only for doing that, but also being here and supporting the other people who are trying to cope with diabetes. Thank you. Bernice is saying to me, I usually watch first what the situation is, and when it's my turn, I tell the guy it isn't appropriate, and respecting their patrons is a good business. Then I apologize to the Asians. Well, the thing is this, that I'm not sure if he was just a guy in the lineup. I don't think that he was a teller. I think he was just a guy in the lineup. And so be careful, though, if you understand, if you can do it in public rather than in private. When I say in public rather than, if you're going to interrupt it at all, then make sure you've got other people around you in case it turns nasty. But the thing is this, that is rude. And, I'm a pretty mouthy person, as you know, so I would probably turn around and go, sir, what is your problem? Because you understand, it's not their problem. They're just going about their business. So if he says, well, they're being so slow and this, that, and the other, and I will say, no, they're not being slow. They're going at their pace. And unfortunately, that is not the speed you'd like them to be going at. Why? Are you late for something because you didn't get ready early enough? What is your problem? This isn't their problem. It is obviously your problem. And you see, this is the thing about anger. Anger is never their problem. People do not make you angry. You make yourself angry. It makes sense. When you get that, other people don't make you frustrated. You make you frustrated. It's something you do to yourself. All right, so Bernice is saying, my husband is the one that wants in and out at the shops. I, on the other hand, like exploring and seeing things, which usually gets me into trouble and buying more stuff. Yes, we all relate to that one. It's why I never allow myself to go in Costco. I'm not allowed in Costco. Sandy's saying, it was frustrating. This was about her diabetes insulin machine thing. It was because her blood glucose was spiking, even though I was taking an appropriate amount of insulin. Whatever I ate. Sorry. Now I have to adjust some rates on the pump and just see, and it seems to be helping. Yes, it's learning. Everything's easy to do once you know how to do it. So, wonderful. Hi, mister. Good to meet you. So think about that. Bernice is saying, excuse me, please mind your own business. If he gets mad, call for the manager or security. I wouldn't directly, do that, quite honestly. I would just say, what is the problem? Can I help you? Because obviously you're upset. And so I think I would word it that way. That would be my recommendation. Now, I've got another, what would you do? I promised myself that I would buy myself a pair of Birkenstocks for the summer. And I don't know if you know, I'm not getting paid to do this, people. But they make rubber Birkenstocks, and I wanted a white pair for the summer. And I actually bought them online, and these came to me all the way from England. That's the good news. And they have arrived. The bad news is they are way too big. All right. They are probably nearly 2 sizes too big. Now, I played with them a little bit, and I could wear them, no doubt about it. And I'm pretty sure you are all saying that I should return them and get the right size. And the news is they came all the way from England. How much will it cost me to ship this parcel all the way back to England? And how long will it take? Oh, that's interesting. Jodi, could you make a note of that? Bernice is saying, I also suggest OOFs, OOFOS. Never heard of them. All right, so here's the question. How much will it cost me to ship these back to England to get them exchanged? And Sandy says too much. I agree. I think I will end up paying nearly as much again. Probably not, but I would say half as much again to send them back. And then I wouldn't send them express, obviously, because I can't afford that. And I won't see these back until the fall, which is not when I want them. Jodi's saying I'll lose weight in my feet and then I'll buy them from you. Okay. Just so you know, I don't know what it is in inches, but their length is about I don't know. Does it tell you here? Wait a minute. Maybe it tells me what the length is. I know that I actually need about 270 millimeters in it. These are 285 millimeters, Jodi. Do the math. Anyway, really comfortable. I could still wear them, quite honestly. But what I want you to say is, do you understand that sometimes it's just not worth sending them back? Which is the downside of buying online. And now I am much better educated because inside it has the perfect thing for measuring your feet. And I've never seen that before. And it tells you exactly what to buy in Birkenstocks and all the different shoes that they have. So to me, this is an education. Yes, I can still wear them, or I could try and sell them online, or I could do both of those. Yes. 285 is 11.22 inches. Well, I want to tell you, I normally buy a size 11, and these are probably an inch to inch and a half bigger than that. And to be fair, I did get the men's 11. I should have got a men's 10. Duh. But perfect in width, really nice in width. Men, that's what I've learned now. If I'm buying something and I can see a men's version, men's shoes are wider than women's. So if you're inclined to be fat of feet, I like that. If you're fat of feet, buy a men's one. I've started buying my runners men's ones rather than females ones. So the main thing is to know I have choices and I'm choosing to hang on to them. Because they really still will do me. And I quite honestly can wear them in the summer I'm pretty sure I'll be wearing them next week, to be honest. Not this week, it's a bit chilly. Right, and Bernice is saying the same thing. She's saying, same thing here, Mama Sal. I buy kids' shoes, but in boys and girls' color. She buys boys' shoes, but in girls' color. I think that's clever. Well done. All right, what else did I get? Unboxing. I did some other unboxings at lunchtime. I really needed a new bottle brush, but then I found out that buying 4 of them, actually, or 5 of them, I got 5 in here, was way, about the same price really as buying 1. So I thought, well, there we go. And now you know what I will do with some of them. I will give them away for Christmas presents. So it's like, it's all part of my Christmas shopping. Buy 1 or 2 for myself, and I put 1 or 2 into the gift bags for people that I care about. So then I got seeds, and I bought some thyme, as in THYME. Why am I smelling them? Anyway, so that's good for my hydroponics. I also bought some lavender. It doesn't smell like lavender. And then here I got a mystery one, which turns out to be the creeping thyme. For those of you who are gardeners, isn't all thyme creeping thyme? I thought it was it was your anniversary yesterday, wasn't it, Bernice? That's what I was saying earlier on, that it was on the 6th. Did I get that wrong? Well, we do wish you a very happy anniversary. I did mention it at the front end of the broadcast. So, yeah, happy anniversary to you. So the seeds are going to be fun. I'm pretty sure that all thyme is creeping of some sort, but I've got a big bank behind my house, and I'm trying to find things that I can grow there that will look pretty, but will, take over, because I don't like the grass there at all. It drives me nuts. So now that we've done that, I've got a couple of other things that I found that I thought were really quite smart. All right, first one. And again, maybe you already know this, but we're about to go into cherry season. Did you know that you can just take a funnel, put a cherry on top, and it will take the pit out for you, and you're just done. Cherry, cherry. And I don't know about you, that is remarkably easy. I've actually got a machine that does it. Of course, a little gizmo. But I was thinking, don't you think that's smart? In such a simple way. The other thing. All right, I don't have any strawberries this week, so I will wait until I have strawberries. But I wanted, if you would, let me know how you take the center of a strawberry out. I know people have different ways of doing it. Oh, Bernice is saying that she uses a chopstick to push out the pip in a cherry. Interesting. Anybody got any other ideas? Just so that different people have different ways of doing it. Yes. All right. So, Sandy, are you talking about strawberries, or do you do cherries with the straw? Yes, doing strawberries with a straw works really well, but it wastes quite a bit of fruit if you've got big strawberries. I'm just going to show you what I do. Yeah. Hold on a second. All right. I'm going to show you because you guys are smart. Imagine I'm holding a strawberry and these are the leaves at the top. All right? Yes. I agree. What you want is the center half of it to come out. So I take a very sharp knife and I just go around it like this at a sort of this angle and go right the way around, and boom, that pulls out, and the rest of it is all what I want to eat. It is so simple, and I urge you to try it. Just take a steak knife or something that's pretty sharp and just work your way around, but you need to be at about this angle, and it will take out, you're aiming to take out the top half only, right? The rest of it is good. And it works really, really well. And also, when those strawberries are coming up from California or whatever, I find where I am in Canada that, quite a lot of them still aren't ripe all the way to the top. And that really helps as well, because it's just like you're taking out the bits that aren't ripe. So I thought I would discuss that with you as well. All right, so there we go. Now then, another little trick that I've been playing with. How many of you know that you need to portion control, but it's difficult to do with bread? And what I've started to do is to roll out my dough. By the way, I had a dinner party, so I got to bake a loaf, and I've got that much left. It's not going to waste. But here's the other thing I've been doing. I've been making the dough and then rolling it out and then using a cookie cutter and producing little mini pucks of bread. So, and then I just cut them in half once they're cooked. And now I can have, like smorgasbord. I can put a little bit of cheese and tomato or maybe some cream cheese and some cucumber on top. And I still have bread, but it's not very much. And I found that portion control really helps me. And by the way, these have lasted days. And I've just got them in a bag with a paper towel in them to take up any moisture that might be there. And they work really nicely. At night, sometimes I just feel like something and I'm going, just peanut butter would be good, right? And there we have it. And I'm not going to go and get some right now, even though I want to. Yes, I quite agree with Sandy here. Sandy's saying, we've been buying frozen strawberries. We always end up with strawberries going bad in a batch when buying fresh. So it depends how quickly you use them. The other thing is this. It also depends where you buy them. I found certain stores look after their strawberries way better than others, Sandy. I have a little store near me. It's probably about 10 minutes away from me, that brings the strawberries directly down from the Okanagan here. And their strawberries are really good, really big and really good. And they come in overnight, I think. And so during the summer, I will make a point of actually driving there because I know those strawberries just came out of the field. And they are so good. They taste different. By the way, my strawberry patch is growing very nicely and getting bigger every week as the number of dryer sheets I have to protect them goes well. Bernice is saying, Sandy, I've been washing them, that's the strawberries, in vinegar, water, and salt solution. Our strawberries last for more than a week. Okay, so when you bring them in, how long do you leave them in that solution? So just a little bit of vinegar and some salt, and how long would you leave them in there? First of all, it's a great way to disinfect them. Yeah, it's a very good tip. Thank you, Bernice. So good. I'm going to do more of these experiments. So, all right, somewhere between 15 to 30 minutes. Good. And I quite agree. It depends on your mood. But we would recommend no less than 15. Oh, Sandy is saying that she heard that you shouldn't wash them beforehand because they go moldy more quickly. And Bernice is saying after she soaked them, she then rinses them out and uses her salad spinner to dry them. before she puts them away. Excellent. Good stuff. I'm very proud of you guys. Right. So now, it's also the summer. And so let's think a bit about boiled eggs. One of the things that has shocked me about Jodi's, this is a meal size, is that, I'm trying to eat more protein, even though that goes against everything I was taught, right? That I was taught that too much protein was bad for you and so forth. But I'm trying to up the protein that I have, lower the carbs, up the protein. And obviously boiled eggs is a really easy way to get some extra protein. So how do you take the shell off a boiled egg? And I'm certain we've got lots of different ways, and I'm certain that you all have found your own way of doing it that works for you. I tried a new way this week, and it worked for me better than I thought it was going to. So that's why I thought I'd just check. Maybe you all do it that way. And while you're answering me, I'll just go and see what's going. So here's what I found out. How many of you roll them on a flat surface first before you start to peel them? And do you peel from the center out or from one end? All these things are critical. So I discovered. Let's hear your way of peeling boiled eggs. Now, I have done the trick of dropping a couple of boiled eggs into a bottle with a little bit of water and then shaking them until the shells fall off. That's actually great fun to do if you're feeling that you need a bit of exercise. But it does work, all right? But I have also messed up a couple of eggs that way. So if you are short on eggs, I wouldn't recommend it. All right, so Bernice cracks hers. So you crack yours and peel it from the bottom up. Okay. Rinsky says, I boil my egg for a minute, turn off the heat, cover the pot for 15 minutes and let them cook. All right. Then I put the egg in ice water and it peels very easily. I do all of that and still have had issues peeling them. Sandy's saying, I crack and peel. This is after putting them in an ice bath for about 10 minutes. Yep, I think we all know. I actually cook mine from zero in cold water. I put mine in cold water and then turn the heat up so that the eggs and water are at the same temperature all the way through. And then I will cook them for about, I know it normally takes about 15 to 20 minutes like that, depending on how fast the water comes to a boil. And then I drop them into an ice bath. So I do think part of the trick is start from the egg being in cold water, not in hot. That's really a better way of doing it. However, this is what I found, and it worked for me. So think about that, which is I just crack the center. I just roll it and crack the center. And then you just slide a spoon up under the shell and lift the shell one side. And I found that in about 3 things, it was all done. And it came off without all the little bits everywhere and all sorts of things. So if you haven't tried it, it's worth a try. I'm not saying it's the way you'll do it forever because you might like your way better. But do give it a try. Because it is really quite surprising. It's a bit like, what are you going to clean your brass with? I'd never, ever heard of cleaning brass with flour and vinegar and a bit of salt. It's just, I wonder whether that isn't what barkeeper's friend is. I can't help thinking that, that maybe that is a poor man's barkeeper's friend. But you saw what it did to the brass, right? Wasn't that amazing? So I'm going to try that combination, I'm going to actually make up a little batch now and keep it and use it for my stainless steel as well and see. So actually, that's a good idea. What if you put the eggs in a salad spinner? And then, I'm going to try that, Bernice. Maybe I'll try it next week. Would you like me to do that? See what happens if you put them, with about this much water in a salad spinner. Will it do the job? What a brilliant idea. I'll do an experiment. Jodi, please make a note. What a fun thing to try. Oh, and another major achievement I can't show you because it's in the wash, but I actually managed to buy a bra online from Wish that fitted me. I cannot believe this is about the 4th time I've tried, and I actually got one, and I got one that fitted me and is comfortable, and it is the right, and it has adjustable straps and adjustable back, and it keeps your posture going. And I'm going, at last, I found it. I'm going to have another one of those, that's for sure. I'm not wearing it right now, just so you know. I don't know, $6. Mind you probably paid 10 for shipping, but it wasn't very expensive. All right, so that is that. You're probably wondering, how's my lettuce doing in the cold bath? It definitely is looking a lot better than it was. It is still a little wilted, but it definitely is perking up. Just so you remember that, right? If you've got wilted lettuce, just drop it in cold water, and it will. Basically, wilting means that it's dehydrated. It's a bit like us, So if it's looking like that, give it water to suck up, and it will plump up its skin. Now then, that's it for today. Quite honestly, wow, I did that in record time. That's amazing. So what did you enjoy most? If I'm going to take out 1 or 2 segments out of today's broadcast, what do you think would be most interesting to other people? Was it cleaning the horse brasses? Is it making the Dole whip? What else did we do? Oh, the story about the accidentally buying online. Do I return them or not? Let us know, because I'm always looking for which bits should I edit out for other people to enjoy, and I would appreciate that. Maybe it was the liquid soap. I don't know. It's all about, let's try and make sure that we pass on. If anybody has anything else they'd like to discuss, this would be the time to do it. And if you'd like any problem solving in terms of household hacks or anything, give them to us now, and we'll spend a bit of time researching and bring you back what answers we can find. Where are your problems in terms of your family? Bernice is saying the Dole whip, the brass, and in fact all of the experiments. You just like the experiments. You like to see me get dirty. A bit of feedback. I think I'll do that on Sunday. I'll take some pictures of the indoor garden and the outdoor for you. But it really, I want to tell you, it was so wonderful to be able to make a salad for 4 people from my own outdoor nursery of salads. I was so happy. Sandy's saying, Sal, I need to say that it's throwing me off that there is sun coming in your window, and it's 11:30 and dark here. Well, the sun is now starting to go down, be fair. It isn't, I don't have the halo that I had when we started. It's definitely getting darker. Oh, did I tell you the big news of the week? For those of you who were here at lunchtime, forgive me. I entered the Vancouver Marathon. Okay. Wait a minute, Sandy. I do have a light over there, and I have one in the cupboard here. So that may be what's making it light. Yes, I spoke to Dougie about it. And now here's the thing. And again, what would you do? Obviously, I didn't enter the marathon nor the half marathon, but it had a choice of, I think, an 8K or a 5K. And I'm able to do it digitally. In other words, you apply digitally. That's difficult to say. And then you get to do it. You don't have to go to any place to do it. You can do it wherever you live. And then you report in the day that you did it and the time that it took you. And you know that I had to make a decision. Do I want to go for 8 kilometers or 5 kilometers? That would be 5 miles or 3 miles, I think, roughly. I think 8 kilometers is probably 4.5, 5 miles, I would think. Jodi, could you do the math for me on that one, please? So those were the decisions I had to make. And by the way, when you enter digitally, they still send you a participate. They will send me. They send me a shirt. I'm gonna have a Vancouver Marathon shirt. Can you imagine? And if I complete it in the time, I will get a medal, a digital medal. I don't care. Just to be able to say I entered the Vancouver Marathon, to me is good. So what would you do? Would you, knowing what you know about me, and I'm, obese, and I'm not the fittest person in the world, but I'm managing to do pretty well with my steps. I'm done pretty well this week. I wonder where my phone is. Oh. I think I had it when I started. I have no idea where it is now. There it is. So I wanted to let you know, okay, so 5 kilometers is about 3 miles. Yes, I knew that. Can you let me know what is 8 kilometers? That's what I want to know. All right, so hang on a second. What was I going to show you? Oh, yeah. So just so that you know, my steps have gone down to about, I did 44,500, then 55,500. This week I'm already up to 43.25, and I still have all of tomorrow. So I went from doing about 2,000 steps a day to now averaging out about somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 steps a day. And I'm pretty proud of that. And so I thought, well, do I want to enter something? And I'm aware that doing it in my home is very different from doing it outside. That's what I thought. Thank you, Jodi. 8 kilometers is 5 miles. Thank you. I really appreciate the time you took to look that up for us. So that's what I had to decide. Do I want to do the 5 mile or the 3 mile? Now, quite honestly, I do 3 miles a day here inside. That's what I do. If I walk for half an hour nonstop, I do just over 3 miles. So what I was thinking was that I know that walking outside is going to be different from doing what I do inside. But I also didn't want to overstress my body or my mind. And I decided, you know something? This is year 1. I'm going to enter the 5 kilometer or 3 mile race because I have never done that in my life. And that's what I want to do. And if I manage to do that, which I'm pretty sure I will, and then next year I can enter the next one, the 8 kilometer. And then if I'm still doing well, then I can work my way up. And so I look at it and say, if you had said to me a year ago, Sal, you're going to do enough steps on your Wii system to make you want to enter a marathon, and I would have said, yeah, right. You and whose army are thinking that stupid thought. But it's like Jodi. If you think about it, Jodi started intermittent fasting way before she ever knew she was going to need it to have this operation. And so when I was in lockdown in that apartment and going insane, stir crazy, I went, I could use this time to some benefit. What can I do? And that's when I bought the Wii. And, bought a secondhand Wii and started playing with it. And, it's really funny, and Jodi will attest to this, that there's something about walking with the Wii that is fun. They got nice little characters and they make me laugh. And I've got a sort of, whole routine that I go through. I even in the evenings now, just so that you understand, I will check about 8:30, 9 o'clock. How are my steps for the day? And I will then go, apparently, let me see, how are my steps for today? Seeing as I asked that question, my steps right now are only 4,400 and something. So I know that I need to get on the Wii tonight and do maybe 15, 20 minutes. That will bring me back up to 8,000. And, I also know that I can put it on change channels and watch whatever I was going to watch this evening. The difference is I'm going to do it standing up and walking instead of sitting on my very, very well spread butt and watching it that way, or even lying down and watching something. I'm going to walk and watch something. That is my new routine. And once I am up to 8,000, that's it. I'm done. Friday is the most difficult day because I do so much time broadcasting. For those of you who've been following my updates in the house, I got a call today from the insurance guy that wanted to have a very serious conversation with me today. And I told him that was not a good idea on a Friday. He could either email me the very important things he wanted to tell me or phone me on Monday. And in the meantime, enjoy your weekend. Remember, just because he wants to talk to me today doesn't mean I have to talk to him. And, I knew this time was coming. They're going to want to start closing my file. And guess what? I'm not ready to close it. I still have not found my mother's pearls. I still have not found some silver jewelry that came for my 50th birthday from Mexico. It was a whole series of silver and turquoise. And I found one bit of it, but the rest of it is missing. I haven't seen it. And so I haven't finished unpacking. I'm getting there. I'm probably down to about 20 boxes now, but I have not finished unpacking. The good news is, under the lost and found, I'm really sad that I still haven't found the red knife. I still haven't found the jewelry I'm talking about. But what I did find, and what were the chances of that? I got to show you. I've always loved my little Buddha. All right. I just think he is so gorgeous. But as you can see, he was missing the top of his hat, and I found it. And I think I undid a table napkin or something when I was getting ready for the dinner party with my little bubble people. And I found it. So isn't that cute? And so I'm very happy. I'm going to find some glue and stick that on tonight. And quite honestly, I was so sad that it was missing. And then I went, well, it still is a Buddha and I want to keep it. But it was just like, no, it just was, I don't know why. It makes all the difference, doesn't it? It's the difference between a really cute Buddha. Oh, pray God I didn't drop this. Anyway, a really cute Buddha, and then I don't know why the top of it just makes a difference. Could somebody tell me why? Well, so put it down. Maybe it's a bit like the Dole Whip. Why does frozen pineapple pulverized with a little bit of orange juice taste that good? And this part of me goes, what if you put some cinnamon in there? I love the idea of putting in a little bit of coconut milk. I bet you that tastes really good. What if you put in almond milk? I bet you that tastes good. I'm going to try all of these because I've now got another packet of that frozen, and I'm going to have rather a lot of pineapple any day now when the leaves come off. So, by the way, think about this, if you will. Losing that jewelry, if I have, is it going to dramatically change my life? In other words, how do I claim for it? How do I put a value on presents that was given to me by my mother? And goodness knows they were antique pearls by now, that's for sure. A beautiful set of pearls. I don't know what value you put on that. And again, if you think about it, what value do you put on a beautiful, silver jewelry set? And by the way, Benji saw it. He was there. It was a big choker. It was a bracelet that matched it. It was earrings that matched it. Bracelet, earrings, what else? Oh, and a brooch, I think. And so it was a complete set. Absolutely magnificent. I don't know what value you put on that. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure it wasn't cheap. You know what I mean? So it is very difficult for me to claim on it, but I will probably need to if I don't find it pretty soon. But again, I am very grateful for all that I have found rather than all that I have lost. I have to remember that even though the pearls may be missing, the gift isn't, right? I still can see them. I can feel the love within it. I look at a lot of things now as I'm unpacking, and I'm learning to change my thinking. And it is quite amazing how I'm changing. Have I found the vanilla? Thank you. No, I haven't. Jodi, could you make a note of that under my lost and found, that I need to add that I've lost the vanilla? I haven't found it yet, but I haven't really gone into the craft room to look in every box. Maybe they put it in a box because they unpacked a lot of the stuff in the craft. All of the stuff in the craft room was unpacked by the unpackers. And they probably have it on a bookcase that they marked. And that bookcase isn't where it was meant to be. That's what happened. I know where to look now. They had all the bookcases marked, but when we put the bookcases back, we didn't put the right bookcases in the right place. There were 3 of them. It's gone into the other bookcase. I'm going to look now. Thank you so much, Sandy. If you hadn't asked me that question, I wouldn't have the answer. And the other thing is, my big achievement this week was, you remember I had that whole wall of packing boxes on their side that I was using as sorters as I unpacked everything. I was putting, summer stuff in here, like the shorts in here, the tops were in here. I had winter boots here. I had, summer shoes here, and I just used the whole wall. I just turned all the packing boxes on their sides and used it as a giant sorting area. And this week, I think I managed to take down and break down half the boxes. It is amazing. I went from boxes all the way up to the ceiling, literally, and now they are this high. And I want to tell you, it worked so well. And I'm getting to the stage where it is possible I won't need to put another unit in my bedroom. I was going to go to IKEA and buy some units this week. And it was going to be the day that I was seeing Patty. And what I decided was that it was more important for me to talk to Patty than it was for me to go shopping. Do any of you relate to that? I was going to be able to sit and hear everything that she needed to tell me about the first, few months of being without Dawn. And I realized I did not want to waste that time shopping. I wanted to be there and listen to her and find out how she'd coped with it and how she was doing. And, She was asking me questions, for example, about she was, what should she do about this, or what should she do about that? And I just looked at her and I said, something, Patty, you're one of the wisest people I know. Why on earth would I advise you on what to do? You go ahead and you do what you think is right, understanding that they do say in the first year after a major loss, don't make any major decisions. Don't go selling the house or, completely change your investments or something. They do suggest that. And I said, that. But even then, you are such a wise person. You already know that. And so the most important thing was for me to sit and hear other stuff. And I'm so glad I did, because, I really didn't waste it. The big mistake I made, and I have to admit that, was that I ordered a grocery delivery on the same day as I went to lunch with Patty. Don't let me do that again. Because I should have known I would spend way more time with Patty than I expected to. And I would then end up where I wasn't home when they wanted to do the grocery delivery. It was crazy. However, I literally have gone far enough with that sorting system that I may not need to put units in my bedroom. I will let you know in about a month. Because if I carry on doing what I'm doing, which is just putting little bits away, here's the other thing I found. My drawers are full. And I've got a new system that I'm doing now. I'm taking, I had a shelf that I was looking at yesterday. I pulled everything out of the shelf. And I looked at everything and said, how many times a month do you use this? All right. And that's what I encourage you to do. How many times a month do you use this? Now, I've got a drawer in front of me, and I have got brown rice. I have got chia seeds. I have got flax seeds. I've got cinnamon sticks. I've got also, semolina, all sorts of stuff in here. Now, if I went through it and said, how many times a month do you use that? I would probably clear about a third out, because I maybe use it once a season. Make sense? And what I'm starting to do is I'm taking that stuff and putting it in my pantry. I don't want it in my kitchen. I want to get my kitchen down to, what do I use every week or every 2 weeks? Now, here's another thing. In this drawer right here, this is the container that my super duper immersion blender came in. But you will see it isn't in there, right? In fact, to be honest, no. Oh, I lied. These are the only things in there. So the question is, what is it doing, taking up that much space in a big drawer? So this is going to go into the back room. Because obviously the only time I'm going to need it is if I'm thinking of selling it. I wouldn't get rid of the case. I love it too much. But the case is, clumsy and too big. And what I have is, here is the top of it. Here is the bottom of it, standing upright in a deep drawer, and all the other bits, I've got different bits that click into it. They are also in that drawer, but they are this big, and they're just in a shoebox in that drawer. So that's what I'm looking at. I just released this much space in one of my drawers if I take this out. Am I making any sense? And it's the same thing, which is when I looked at my biggest problem that I need to have a look at is my spices. I have got a complete drawer of spices that is overwhelming. And I'm going, how often do you use some of these spices, Sal? Maybe once a year? Twice? So why are they in your everyday space? Why don't you free up your everyday space, and find a little box and put all the extra ones in so you've still got them if you need them? Is this making any sense to anybody other than me? Because that is what I'm doing with my clothes. I'm going, how many outfits do I need? All right. As you know, I was talking about this last week. And you know what broke my heart? This December t-shirt, I love my December t-shirts. It is starting to get holes in it. I've worn it and washed it that much. I am devastated. My favorite t-shirt. And I, for some reason, just always love this particular t-shirt because anyway, never mind. And so it's just like, and it's got holes in it now. Little ones at the seams, because it's worn out. Well, that's pretty good. And so I'm looking at my life and trying to teach myself bit by bit, not one big thing, just bit by bit. I want to start looking and saying, all right, that looks just a little bit crowded there, Sal. I've already taken half the spatulas and whisks and everything else out and put them away, and yet it's still got way too many. Bernice is saying, I love my holy shirts. I keep wearing them. I will keep wearing this one. Yeah, it will be my go-to shirt to go play in the garden and do all sorts of things. So, when I think about this, it's like, have a look at everything. You don't have to clean your whole house up, right? That's you'll never do it. But just say to yourself, what happened to me was I opened up a cupboard over there. And it was just the bottom shelf. It's a very narrow cupboard. It was just the bottom shelf. I just took everything out. I know it had recently been cleaned, so I cleaned it again. I didn't care. And then I went, now, what do you really want back in there? What in here do you use every day? Who was it that told me last week they got 6 different lots of mustard in the fridge? Was it Jeannie? And by the way, just so you all know, Jodi, can you make a note for me to remember to check on Jeannie, because I know she's been having some kidney problems. But anyway, it was like, I've got 3 lots of mustard. I've got, I'm going, really? Do I need all this? Or do I need it in my kitchen? Mustard lasts forever, I think. And that's what I'm trying to train myself. But, for somebody that's been doing it wrong for a long time, it is difficult. It is difficult. But I found somehow in that whole sorting system that I had, I kept sorting things down. When I put stuff in one of the cubies, I go, now, do I use all of those? And I'm going, not really. Those were nice when I was a size 12. Yeah, but you haven't been there for a long time. It goes in the donate box. So I started creating 2 complete donation boxes. But what I managed to do was to keep getting less and less boxes with stuff in them. And this weekend I had the joy of taking half the boxes down and breaking them down and going, I can't believe I did that. And there's not that much left. There are a lot of shoes left, and I know half of them I can't wear anymore. But I just got to own that and do that. And then I go, I can get rid of so much stuff. It is exciting to me now. But the other thing is, as you all know, I have a very small garbage can, and it only gets, we have 3 things. They collect organics and recyclables every week. But the garbage can, which is fairly small, only gets emptied every other week. And I've already got a lot of stuff, obviously, from unpacking that has to go into the garbage, and a lot of plastics and stuff that have to go in there. And I'm getting quite stealth now, quite smart about what I put into that bag. And I do it in order. Obviously, the first thing goes in are the stuff that I have to have in that garbage. The stuff from the kitchen that isn't food, but maybe had food on it. Meat containers and stuff like that. That goes in first. That has to go in. And then I go, okay, what's the next thing? Stuff from my bathroom and stuff that goes in. And then last, I fill it up with all the plastics and so forth. By the way, let me ask you something, and I want you to think about this as a final thought today. In terms of the reuse and recycle and all that sort of thinking, could you do an experiment this week? Let me show you the experiment. Take one bag of some sort, all right? Just one bag of some sort. It could be a bag like this that used to hold grapes, or it could be a bread bag or something, and have it in your kitchen somewhere out of the way. And every time that you have anything that is not food related, put it into this bag. By the way, when I started doing this, I used to have a complete Safeway bag that I put it in. And the goal is for you to see how much of your garbage belongs in this bag as opposed to what belongs in the compost. If you didn't have a kitchen waste system, what would the difference be? And what I have now is in the middle of my house, I have a place for plastics like this, and stuff that comes from the Amazon bags and everything else. And that is my biggest throwaway section every month, right? The plastic, the one-use plastics. It is amazing to me. I think you all know that I compost now. I have two different lots of compost, stuff from the kitchen and stuff from my garden. And so I don't have very much in the way of food scrap garbage because, I don't use my organics bin because most of my stuff will go directly into my compost. And as you know, I use my poor man's garburator, garbage disposal thing, to break down quite a lot of the food scraps. I use my blender and just cut it up so it's not quite as big, and it's turning into compost much more quickly. And so, but it is amazing when you start realizing how much of your garbage is this one-use plastic. And when you start realizing that, you will do a lot more what I was talking to you about, which is to get yourself some silicone covers for the things you would rather use plastic for. Instead of using saran wrap, use plastic you can use again. I reuse, when my groceries come in and they're in these one-use type plastic bags, I do not throw them away. I keep them. I keep them in a bottle because that holds an awful lot of them. You'll be surprised. Look at this. You'll be surprised how many it holds. So it keeps them nice and contained. But if I have to throw out some fat off a steak, where I use the fat on the steak to cook it because it gives it such a beautiful taste. But when I went to eat it, I didn't want to eat the fat. That would go in one or two of these. I normally would put those sort of things in this, tie it off, and then put it in another one, and then it goes in the garbage. So I try to make sure that when I do use, or when I do get what I call one-use plastic like this, I make it at least 2 or 3 use. And you can wash these bags. And I've said it time and time again, if you have to use baggies, buy freezer bags. Why? They're thicker. And because they're thicker, I actually put my bags in the dishwasher to clean them. If I use one of these, I will turn it inside out and put it on the top rack of my dishwasher, and it will be clean. And therefore, some of those bags I've had for 2 or 3 years. Right? It's just like, why would I keep buying them? They just need to be washed. And if we can all think a little bit more like this, we will all save the environment so much more. All right. Hope you've enjoyed today's broadcast. I hope you had some fun. I hope you know that it's very possible I might make a second one of these before I go to bed tonight. Because I can. And there's nobody here to tell me I can't. This is DearMamaSal saying thank you for all the fun that we have on a Friday night. I really appreciate it. I love you dearly. Remember to look after one another, but most of all, please, please look after yourself. Remember that quote about how much of your day do you waste doing things that you don't like doing? Think about that and spend more of your day doing little experiments, and let me know what works. This is DearMamaSal saying thanks for being here. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, Jodi.